Hello again. Welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. So I'm just gonna talk about, okay, I'm just gonna address this. I speak fast. This is who I am, and I realize a lot of people are telling me that they can't hear me, and I don't know. So there's a higher possibility my content is not for you because I speak fast. I speak fast, or whatever. Maybe you don't hear me. I don't know, whatever reason that you might have. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for something. Sorry about that. It's just that there's someone outside and I don't like the noise. Okay, I'm back again with another video which is about what happened when you're not following your divine gift, because we are all given a gift. We are born with gift, whatever gift that we might have. It's our responsibility to dive deep within ourselves to realize what gift do we have. Some people are actually lucky, but it has to do with a certain generation that you're gonna be born in, whereby you find a lot of people knowing what gift do they have. For example, when I heard that Beyonce knew that she wanted to be a musician, I think she was 6 or 5 year old. In that age, she knew that she wanted to be a musician. She knew in a young age that that's what she want. A lot of people are like it that way, but at the same time, it doesn't mean just because you don't know your gift at that childhood life, uh like for 5 to 10 to 20, not knowing what exactly your gift, but because it doesn't mean you're not unfortunate. It's just that your journey is different. You are different. Your journey is different from other people. So a lot of people, sometimes they find a gift later in years, or sometimes they find a gift early and then that gift makes sense later. Just like the famous artist painter, is it Picasso? Oh gosh, the one that became famous later in years. I think it's 40 to 50 until his late years, because he died in 90, when he was somewhere 90s. So as I said, this video it's about what happened when you're not following your gift. It doesn't mean just because you have a gift now you're not supposed to do other things that are actually not aligned with your gift. For example, as I said, our path to our gift, it's a journey. Even our gift, they constantly enhance as much as we allowing ourselves to break free from certain cycles, karmic cycles, and anything that is actually not allowing you to elevate. So obviously or gift will enhance probably the relationship you have with yourself. You need to work on it in order for you to realize what other things that you need to, in order for you to be able to realize certain gift that you actually have. So what happened to people who don't follow their gift? Actually, a blend of people who ended up not following their gift. That's why you find them on the comment section being mean and whatsoever. It's because they're bored with their life. Not only that, they always view other people as competition. When you're not following your gift, you always constantly see other people as competition. There's something that Sadi Guru, if I'm not mistaken, his I'm just gonna he mentioned something like, um if you have to compete with someone, there's higher possibility that you are not competent. And I think that shit is one of the most truest thing that I ever come across. The fact that you have to find other people as a competition, there's high possibility that you are not competent. And you know what, we are all born competent, but it's us who have to work within ourselves to realize what is exactly that I need to work on in order to be competent. You can't always see other people as competition. I know sometimes you are get triggered. For example, a lot plenty of YouTubers, and whenever I come across certain YouTuber, I'm like, who am I? I find myself in that energy. But you know what? I get to realize, I get to acknowledge whatever that is I need to work on. So I need to work on this in order for me to evolve and whatsoever. But I stop comparing myself, because whoever started where, every YouTuber started um on a same different level, and all YouTubers they started at a different level, whether consciously or financially, as well as another level that I need to mention. We all have different voices, right? So we don't have a same way, and we don't have vibrate in the same level vibrationally. So whatever content that you're gonna put, it allow you to evolve, right? So I'm not gonna compare myself with someone I don't know where they started, even if she started or he started with 0 subscribers, because we're all gonna start there most of the time. So you know comparing yourself is another thing that is insulting. It's insulting in your journey as a whole. So it's very important for you to be aware of that. So people actually not following their own soul path or their divine gift. As I mentioned, that not everybody will know at a young age that their gift has to do with music, or my gift has to do with being a tarot reader, being a psychic. Some are lucky because they get being nurtured. Not everyone could grow in a home that nurture gift. Some homes are actually against your gift. You become their enemy because of a certain gift that you have. So things like that happen. So when you're not following your gift, it the feeling of feeling inadequate will never go away. The feeling of feeling like you are faking life, the feeling of feeling like what the word in psychology, whereby they describe, whereby you feeling like a fake, you don't belong there. Imposter syndrome. When you were experiencing imposter syndrome, I realized in my journey I used to experience a lot of imposter syndrome. Everything that I started, this is actually, I started a lot of business that failed because I was not passionate about, and most of the time I felt like people can see through me that I'm being fake, that I'm not passionate with whatever I'm doing. Right now I'm passionate with psychology, but psychology just makes sense. So I started business whether I'm not aligned with me. Whenever I remember when I was speaking, I used to be so like I was not aligned with them. So the imposter syndrome never go away. Even when I was a university student, it never went away. So I was constantly in a battle with myself. I was constantly hating myself. You know, when you're hating yourself, most of the time, I know sometimes we are being taught to hate ourselves. For example, as a black woman, our hair is something that a lot of people, whenever you're showing your natural hair, when you're showing your what do you call it, a dreadlock, they constantly have something to say about it. Your skin color, your body size, your whatsoever. They're constantly trying to make you feel so bad about themselves. But you know what? Because it's not a truth within yourself. It's a projection. Anything outside yourself that is not good for your soul. It's a projection. It's a projection. So whenever people are projecting, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel it makes them feel in a sense that they trying to drag you whatever level that you're in terms of their consciousness. They can tell that you're growing, they can tell that you're loving yourself. That's why most of the time you don't experience a lot of people when you're doing something that is not aligned with. For example, you don't experience a lot of people who are hating you when you're doing something that is dema- that is not good for you, that is actually lowering your vibration. So for example, when you're drinking with your friends and eating a lot, in terms of eating food that is not aligned with you in terms of like eating a lot of junk food, there's nothing wrong with eating junk food, but I believe everything that you do should be moderate. So when eating junk food, nobody's going to complain about your junk food, but whenever you're starting to go and take your health serious, eating healthy, a lot of people start to say something. Have you ever wondered why? It's because you're doing something different. You trigger the shit out of them. So they're trying to make their triggers your fucking responsibility, which is not. That's why whenever you're starting to move a different path. A lot of people try to drag you back to that path that you don't want to go through with it. So whenever you follow your gift, whatever that you feel like you are, when people can sense when you're starting loving yourself, they hate it when you're actually starting to love yourself. They want you to be miserable. They want you to constantly feeling down, constantly depressed. They want you to whatever happened. So whenever they see that now she's actually, or he or she is winning in whatever that they're doing, now they're being themselves, because what happened is when you follow your gift, you become yourself. But I'm not saying all the time, it just depends what is exactly your intention with whatever what you're doing. When you're doing something that is actually intentional, because there are plenty of people in the entertainment industry who are actually following that gift, but you can tell they, you know the for example, I like making example with the Smith family. That family, guys. I feel like they are blessing in our, actually, in our generation. I'm not saying they're perfect, but for them to open up with things that are actually going on in their life, wow. I've got a lot of healing from that red table talk. I got a lot of healing from seeing Will Smith admitting his shit behavior to the point that he's actually he's evolving. He tricked a lot of men. He tricked a lot of masculinity, the toxic masculinity that our society operating in. So to see Will Smith growing, evolving, he's an artist, right? He's an actor. He's a musician. But as much as he actor, as a musician, a lot of people are being triggered by him because he's constantly evolving. He's not just his career that actually coming through for him, but he's actually evolving. They're trying to shut the Smith family out. There's no way. There are plenty of people who did a lot of shit, but Will Smith, he had to do a slap in order for them to cancel him in the entertainment industry, because he had a lot of enemies, and a lot of enemies are being triggered. They're trying to shut out him because they don't understand why he's like that. He had to be a public figure in order for them to be selling him. A lot of people are still angry. Yes, he did something wrong. He was not supposed to allow someone to trigger him to that point. But I'm 100% we all make mistake. What he did was actually wrong. But to see how a lot of people are trying to get rid of him in the entertainment industry is something that I'm like, I know we all do mistake, but that was not something that I can sell. He had to leave. Like, it's not like, yes, he did, but at the same time, they don't talk about what Chris Rock did. Chris Rock was also wrong. Like, they're friends. You don't make comments about how people appear, and unless if it's a clothes, maybe you can comparing clothes like, oh, this clothes is this and that, because sometimes things that happen. But to be a point that you have a fucking issue with how people appear, and like body wise, whatever that you choose to look like, you don't have to do that. So like making like both of, well, okay, Will Smith was wrong. Yes, I get it. Actually, like whatever he did, it was so awful, but it doesn't make Chris right. So okay, I'm not there, but I'm just trying to make an example what happened when you are following your gift at the same time you're constantly healing. Because when you are healing, you trigger a lot of people. A lot of people want you to agree with them. So whenever you're not agree with them, following your own inner guidance, they get triggered by that. Because who the fuck are you? Why are you trying to be different? Anything that is different in our society is constantly being shamed. It's constantly trying to pushed away from our society norms, because it's being triggered. A lot of people are not willing to heal, because healing it requires a lot of responsibility. It requires a lot of vulnerability. It requires a lot of being honest with yourself. And not a lot of people are ready to be honest with themselves. They're trying to be in the same place whatsoever. Because you have to ask yourself, why I'm still in the same place? It's a responsibility to do that. You have to own your own BS. Trying to be a better version of yourself. It takes a lot. So, and not everybody is willing to invest in it a lot. So that's why you find a lot of shit people walking around. So that's why I'm saying this video, it's about what happened when you're not following your gift. You become a shit person, whether to yourself or other people. But I'm not trying to say all people in entertainment industry are healthy, because a lot of people in entertainment industry are toxic. They're also following that gift, but sometimes you can tell they're doing it for money. You know, when you're doing things for money, it's okay to do things for money, but you know, when you're doing things for money with zero soul, like your soul is not attached to whatever you're doing, you're not guided intuitively, you become the toxic motherfucker, you know. So that's why it happened. The reason I made this video, there was this someone that I actually know who also had a spiritual gift. So I also have a spiritual gift. She happened to ended up projecting her hate on me, as if now it's supposed to be my responsibility. And I was like, no, I need to make a video about this. That's why you find a lot of people being mean. It's a coping mechanism, because they're not following whatever that you were supposed to be doing. Now they're making it your problem. It's your problem now. Why it's not even your problem, you know? People who give up on things that are actually, because when you follow your gift, it doesn't mean the path is gonna be easy. People want something easy. They don't walk the path that is less travel. Instead, they want the path that everyone is doing. For the path that is less travel, it got a lot of challenges, like a lot of challenges. Most of the time, you experience zero support when you're doing it, and a lot of hate, because you are being tested. You are constantly upgrading your rank. You're constantly upgrading yourself. Your consciousness are constantly evolving, not just externally, like your money only. You're also upgrading internally. You can tell, oh my god, I'm no longer thinking the way I used to think. Oh my god, you know, you can tell. Recently, I've been so happy. Like, there was something that I was actually thinking about. Okay, I was actually listening to music or whatsoever, and the next thing I realized, I no longer react the same way that I used to react. I'm not, I don't know how to explain it, because it's something that is happening to me internally. So it makes me happy to know that I am growing, you know. Sometimes we don't see growth because we are so programmed to believe that the only time we see growth is externally. We don't actually be show some gratitude with the internally growth that actually experiencing. So I'm just grateful that I see a lot of things that are actually changing within myself. So that's what happened. When you start to follow your own path, your divine gift, it's not gonna be easy. Like, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be easy. Even though it's not gonna be easy, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't. You know, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. No, it doesn't mean that. So it's important to be truthfully to yourself. Whenever you are doing something, do it with authenticity. Authenticity. Be authentic. Make sure that you are doing from your heart space, because you're gonna have a lot of why I should continue doing this, why I should if you're doing it for popularity, you're gonna have a lot of problem. If you're doing it for money, you're gonna have a lot of problem. You won't even be happy with anything. So you're supposed to be happy with whatever step just to take. That's how you know you're doing something that is actually aligned with you. Even the smallest steps make you happy, because you'll be like, wow, you know. So I'm just gonna talk about that. And I also realized people would end up not following that gift, because your gift will push you to be your authentic self. And a lot of people end up losing their personality whenever they don't follow their gift. And sometimes people experience whereby their gift is being taken away from them. Yes, there are people who actually their gift is actually taken away from them. I used to think that is actually crazy. I realized a lot of people in a spiritual community who actually have a spiritual gift, they ended up not having a spiritual gift anymore. They don't connect with God like they used to, because they are so distant. There's a huge gap between them and God. When you are with a person who have a spiritual gift, you tend to connect. Your connection with God is not far. That's why you find a lot of people. It's not just as someone who's actually have a spiritual gift. It can be a musician too. It can be anyone. It can be anyone who's very much close to their soul, because our soul is God. So whenever you come across people who have a spiritual gift and then not doing it, they end up being taken away, because there's a pile of not doing what you're supposed to be doing. There's a pile of things that you need to work on, so you ended up putting a lot of pile, lots of layers of not allowing yourself to move certain layers in order to be in whatever phase that you're supposed to be in, because you are not listening. That's why most of people actually experience gift being taken away from them. Whenever using your gift for the wrong reason, for example, if you have a spiritual gift but you're using it for the wrong reason, obviously it's going to be taken away from you because you don't listen, you know. So even that's why sometimes you find a lot of musicians not producing music. It probably they have a gift with voice, but at the same time, because they're not doing it for the right reason. For example, um they're doing it for popularity, they're doing it for money. So I usually admire artists who are actually musicians who are no longer popular as much as they used to be in the early time. For example, mm, Emily Sunday. Is it Emily Sunday? I think she's a musician. She's still producing music despite her popularity being decreasing, despite whatever is happening. She's doing it because she loves it. You know, you can tell that she actually loves being a musician. It's not about being popular. It's not about what. She produced music because she expressed herself through music. She also helping other people to communicate, to find music moving for them. It's not about popularity. She's doing it for herself. She's also doing herself because she's evolving. That's why you find a lot of artists later on, most of the time, they're not popular anymore. It's because when you're a musician, you need to grow too internally. Not every artist can relate. They try a lot. Like for example, I've been watching Rihanna. Rihanna stopped producing music 2016, if I'm not mistaken. She being featured in music, and I've realized a lot of people will want the old Rihanna. The old Rihanna might be gone because the old Rihanna was going through further issues. She was going through a very bad breakup with Chris Brown. You know, she was going through it. A lot of people would expect Rihanna to produce music is that is full of pain, but Rihanna, there's high possibility Rihanna is not in pain like she used to be. You know, her music won't be the same. That's why whenever you listen to the old album, you can tell this girl was going through so much, you know, and it like she was struggling with forgiving his father. She was struggling to forgiving Chris Brown. She was struggling to loving herself. She was struggling with a lot. Now she's more in a calm space. You can tell that she loves herself now. Of course, with self love, it's a journey. So you can tell through people what they're going through. Because as much as they're producing, it's something that is actually whatever vibration that you're in. That's why um I'm saying this, whatever happened when you're following a gift, it's more like you are living a life with no soul. It's soulless. You're not experiencing soul connection. You're not experiencing creativity. You're not experiencing vulnerability. You're not experiencing a lot of things that are emotionally fulfilling. You are just a dead person who's actually living. And most of the time, because of that, you tend to have your spirit being possessed by demons. When they say your spirit being possessed by demon, you become demonic, you become soulless. Because demons are not just demons that we think are demons. Demons are just human who are in a place where they're not loving themselves, going around hating other people. You know, it's demonic. That's another way of being demonic. You don't have to like have a wall, like having your horns, having like this scary look. No, you just have to be a human looking with no soul. So guys, that's why most of the time people describe narcissist people as demonic, because it's true, they're demonic. Anyway guys, thank you for liking, for watching, for subscribing on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Bye.